film fanatics.
Crazy! It's crazy.
The nuts about that.
Now, the Houston Film Fanatics.
This is Ray and Noe with the Houston Film Fanatics.
What up?
And we are hanging out talking about a super cool new movie. I'm actually really, really excited about seeing this one. It's called Range 15.
You have to get to Range 15.
It is believed that one of them is responsible for saving mankind.
Good afternoon, Mr. Betts. What's Range 15?
It's a fallback point for an ELE.
And we've actually got one of the guys here with us who is actually a big part of that movie. Well, Brandon, welcome to the show, man. What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just living the dream here in Houston. Enjoying this weather.
The soggy weather?
That's right. Took my canoe in. I was going to bring in the Ark, but I left that at home. Sorry, just the canoe.
I've got a backup pair of floaties at my desk if you need them. I use them. There's no shame.
Nice.
So Range 15 looks like a lot of fun. What can you tell us about this movie? It's a zombie, kind of a comedy action movie.
Yeah, it's like a zombie apocalypse action comedy. You know, it goes against the grain of a lot of stuff. It's not really what you would anticipate in this type of movie, but that's because there's a lot of veteran humor that's brought into it. So the minds of, war veterans have come together to put this Hollywood, crash landing of a zombie apocalypse movie together, and has just skyrocketed with, people supporting this. It started out kind of small. They did an Indiegogo campaign.
There's a lot of movies that are kicking off that way too, which I think is fantastic. There's so many fan movies that want to be seen that is the only outlet that a lot of people have to make them.
And that's the thing, they went to a Hollywood producer, Ross Patterson. He's done some pretty cool films. There was one he did, The New Guy. That's what it was. I love that movie.
Oh yeah.
And Accepted. That was another great one that he did. But approached him. He loved the idea. They put their minds together, came up with a script, of course had to go back and forth. But once they put it to the veteran community, it went nuts. To think that, hey, we have a chance to kind of take over Hollywood. How cool would that be, hey, let's get some support. Let's see where we can go. And I think they started out with both the companies, which was Ranger Up Apparel and Article 15 Clothing. They had a combined a little over 300,000, but with our support, it went over 1 million.
Wow.
In a very short amount of time. So heavily supported.
Well, one of the things I really like, I've watched the trailer several times now. I'm really looking forward to seeing the movie. Is that it kind of has a feel to it a little bit like Super Troopers Goes Military, and then we throw in some zombies, and it looks like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited about it. Noe is kind of our resident zombie expert. They have zombie classes you could take at college now. He took one, and so that's why he is our official zombie expert.
Yeah,
he passed with flying colors.
It was for my humanities credit. After reading everything and watching almost every major zombie film, it just blew up inside of me, and I love it now.
Yeah, we heard about this movie, and I was the first person I thought of is this guy over here. I'm oh my god, Noe, we need to go watch.
Because I just recently got into The Walking Dead, just recently, and I finished all of it, and I'm discovering little things here and there about the zombie convention and how big it's blown up. So I have a question: are you guys or any of the producers and directors are you guys fans of George A. Romero, and did that influence you in any way, the original trilogy?
I can't speak on their behalf. I know I'm not, but as far as the producers and as they go and the writers, I think this was all in their minds. They did this solely. I'm not sure who they really draw some inspiration from, but I think a lot of it came from themselves. And I don't want to, bash on, any other zombie enthusiasts, and maybe I should have taken that class, because I played the zombie part. If I'd have known that. But, you think the progression of a zombie. When did a zombie TV show, when they were on TV first come out, back in the 50s?
Yeah.
Look, from that time, we're just kind of putting some white makeup on and maybe raising some cheekbones to now this, dead that is alive, or biochemical warfare type zombie to, possessed type zombie. It goes nuts, but what they had us do, and they had veterans in this. It was almost all veteran here, and paraplegics, arms missing, we got I forgot how many came out there for this, but the support was nuts. But these guys, they didn't care. They were out there with their nubs missing and, everything, and they're crawling around on the ground. And Mary Dag, is huge. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but she had her arms blown off. She was an EOD tech, which is explosive ordnance. And to take something that was so tragic and to turn it around and be like, look, it's not that bad, guys. She's a great person, by the way. If you ever want to look up an amazing person, look up Mary Day. And she's walking around with these nubs and knives on, to tie in the
Nice.
movie. So, that's pretty inspirational.
Or making do with what you got there.
That's right.
So why a satire though?
I don't know. I was confused on it myself. I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
Just participating in this and having product placement. But I was a little confused at first when they said this is going to be a veteran comedic movie, and I'm like, okay, like MASH. I don't know.
A little zanier than MASH, maybe.
Yeah. What do you think of? And then they said, oh no, this is going to be a zombie apocalypse movie, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. But they did it. They incorporated a lot of stuff in there, I believe that they pulled it off somehow.
One of the things I liked, if you watch the trailer, you see a lot of surprise cameos and appearances that are taken. Like William Shatner is in this movie. It's so many Sean Astin. I love Sean Astin.
We got to talk to him a while back.
In front of the show, Sean Astin. Do you know what the process was as far as reaching out to some of these celebrities and getting them involved? Was it just through the crowdfunding and the word of mouth, or what
Jerry
was it?
Gergich from Parks and Rec?
Oh my God!
Yeah, a lot of that was just reaching out. Ross Patterson had a huge role in that. His influence, in Hollywood, but a lot of it was, dedicated time for something that's meaningful to a veteran community. So they were happy to do this, and not at such a Hollywood rate to perform for a movie. They were willing to have fun and do something that could mean a lot to, our community. And it turned out really great. Like Ron Jeremy. Yeah.
Ron Jeremy,
This guy came out and I was filming on that day. At this particular time, I was a bar patron that was instigating a character who's played by Matt Best to shoot someone else in the butt with a bow and arrow. Okay? He was really intoxicated. But that's, how it starts. Bad night, you wake up, it's even worse. Ron Jeremy comes in, and I swear all this guy did was just eat. He showed up.
I could see that with Ron
He said hi
Jeremy.
a couple times, was amazed by the mustache. He went and ate some food, had some pretty awesome set food. And he did his thing, and he just kind of did it all himself. They kind of gave him an idea what he needed to do. But did you know this guy could play the harmonica?
Ron Jeremy plays the harmonica?
He plays the harmonica, and he was killing it.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
When I think of hidden talents, and Ron Jeremy, harmonica would probably be the farthest thing from my mind.
Yeah, he was totally killing the Star Spangled Banner, if I can remember correctly.
Whoa. Nice!
Yeah, and I would never want to touch that harmonica with a 10-foot pole. I'm sure it smells awesome.
The heck was he playing with? Never mind. We're going to leave that one alone. We're going to totally leave that be. Well, I think the premise behind this movie is cool. It's a movie made by veterans, starring veterans. You also said you had some product placement in there. What can you tell us about that?
A heavy contribution was from my company called Counter-Strike Coffee. What we had in there was posters, some of our coffee bags, and a couple of other things in some scenes where zombies come in and, kill people. And, there's a couple different areas, but then, of course, I get to play in it. And I'm trying to remember his name, but he was one of the guys that saved the people on the bus in France, and then he also was in Dancing with the Stars.
Right on.
And he had a shirt that he couldn't wear on set or out there because it had a logo on there. He's like, I don't have anything else, and I'm like, hey, I got a shirt for you.
Nice.
So I hooked him up with his Counter-Strike Coffee t-shirt. So at this bar, you see my logo, this big, I call it the skull operator. It's these two silhouettes of operators, which are, these military guys back to back. And with the way they form, it kind of looks like a skull. Well, we bring this ghost skull out of it. So we call it the skull operator. That's our logo.
Very cool, very cool.
And
now,
it's pretty neat.
Is this like a company you have that's local, or is there?
I do. So it's out of Cyprus.
Okay.
And most everything is run off of e-commerce. There's some people that they sell at shops, which is totally available for distributorship and stuff like that. But otherwise, I sell at the Tomball Farmers Market. I got a pretty big following there.
Are you really? I've been out there several times. No kidding.
Yeah, and it's fun. I love going out there talking. I mean, I just tell people to come out and hey, if you just want to sit down and talk, you don't even have to buy anything. It's also kind of like a spot where maybe like a little veteran hangout. You know, you're not doing anything on Saturday. You know, and formerly, while I was in the military for 10 years, I was medical. So I was a Navy FMF corpsman. So that time frame, I kind of take a spot for kind of like counseling, you know. Like, hey, you know, let's talk for a little while, see how guys are doing, their family and everything. They bring their kids out, you know, I give them stickers and, you know, we just have fun. And that's all. If you buy a bag of coffee, that's cool. You know, if not, we had a good conversation. I know you're doing good and you carry about your way and go from there.
That's great. And I mean, it's such a tight-knit community, especially, you know, you've got a lot of military people. Like, I have several people in my family that, you know, they have a hard time connecting with certain people once they come back from, you know, being active duty and things like that. So being able to find people local, especially, you know, in Houston and other areas that you can connect with is so important.
Yeah.
Do you know about John Burke? If he's like a fitness motivator, and
yeah,
I follow him on Facebook, and he's like really big on like this, like, you know, supporting the veteran community and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's huge. You know, there's so many different, you know, people out there that support different things. You know, you kind of have to pay mind to it. Like, I donate to a lot of veteran charities. You got to do your research because there's people out there to sham you, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And a huge movement that a lot of people are doing that people believe in, you know, is this 22 veterans kill themselves a day. Well, that is not a true number. You know, that number would change anyway, but, you know, a lot of people believe in that. But it's a good idea to get, you know, people concerned that, hey, our veterans aren't doing so well out there. It's far beyond that. You got to think from Vietnam veterans all the way to our era, from Gulf War to OIF, OEF. It's pretty astronomical. All I know is that I'm going to do my part. And if there's one person out there in every, you know, city, county that say, hey, I'm going to do my part and at least get accountability of 1 or 2 veterans and have them do the same thing, it's going to spread like a zombie virus.
There you go.
Like, I brought that in there.
I love that. I like that.
Perfect bridge.
That was.
So is that like the vibe that you want people to get from this film? Awareness for the veteran community and them being able to deal with those situations in the movie specifically and outside of the movie, like in the, you know, in the real world as well.
Really what, you know, I think what we're wanting people to see is that, you know, veterans are here, that, you know, we're not sitting back, you know, licking our wounds and not being productive in society, that there's some of us out there that are moving forward and wanting to make a difference. This movie, of course, you know, it's not so much about awareness and suicide stuff. This is a zombie apocalypse movie. This is just to let, you know, everyone know that, hey, there is a community here and this is what we can do. Look what we've done. We started from almost nothing and have a movie that's gone, you know, national, even internet. People are playing it in other countries, you know, on bases and stuff like that. Because of our community, not just from a, you know, solely from this group of people. They have a podcast that they give thanks to everyone all the time. Like, this is because of you, you know. And I think that's the big story, that the big message that they'd like to get across, that, you know, veterans are here, we're making a difference, that, hey, we can do some pretty cool stuff. We can be productive in society. Just give us a chance.
It's interesting because, like, we were talking about this. How, like, in the past, George A. Romero films and also, like, 28 Days Later and some other zombie films that I might be forgetting.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of the times when in these movies, the military is kind of seen as, like, the negative or the pushy force. And it is kind of cool seeing them in this movie. Is we're finally, okay, we're stepping up, we're being the heroes in this movie.
And having fun with it.
Yeah,
which is
and
the
having
movie
a good
is
time.
about, yeah.
And they're portrayed as, like, real people. And again, there's, like, several movies where it's like, oh, my God, like, we've got to keep an eye on the military guy in the corner there because he's going to take over everything. Or it's, yeah, so this is really refreshing to see.
You guys hit the nail on the head. We're real people.
Exactly.
We have a sense of humor. You know, in the military, like, I've never laughed so hard in my life. You do have those guys that are by the book, by the number, you know, right face, left face, you know, do this. And, you know, but a lot of, you know, all of us real people in the military, we're like, whatever.
Yeah.
And we do what we have to do, you know, to get by. And, you know, we started off as civilians and we come back into a civilian, you know, community. Even while we're in, you know, we don't want to be pushed aside. You know, we do have a job to do. That's what we're supposed to do. And then we get back home. So it is rough. You know, a lot of portrayal, you know, is that military bad. They're going to run our lives and the government, you know, but we're real people, just like you said. So I'm glad you brought that up. That's cool.
That's awesome because you have some important factors here. like, not only is it Hollywood, which is huge, like it's a great way to reach people, but this is also a zombie film, like a zombie convention, and that's massive right now. So those are like two really good factors that go into like be able to make a statement like that, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree.
I have a question for you guys. So
Sure.
with all these different zombie, you know, and you could probably answer this.
Zombie
He's giving me
expert.
more credit.
Yeah, seriously. Did you make an A in that class?
No,
No,
not
Go to zombie schools.
a 95.
You're gonna have to take. You know, with all these different zombie films that have come out, the different types of zombies that they portray, how do you feel like this lines up? Is this something fresh? You know, you watch The Walking Dead and it's very elaborate. Their makeup, you know, trust me, I sat there and got my makeup done, but I've seen some of these pieces that get chunked on, you know, and I mean, it's really, really nuts how they do that. Compared to all that, is this like a fresh look? Is this going to be something like, hey, this is something I haven't really seen before. This is neat. On an onlooker, someone that is a zombie enthusiast and, you know, film critic or addict, you know, how would you think they would look at this movie?
Well, I think, to me, this is very fresh. Because, like I said before, in most of the films that I've seen, you know, with zombie apocalypse erupting and everything, the military is portrayed negatively sometimes, or not just the military, but like maybe people that like own guns and, you know, they're for, you know, being armed and stuff like that. They're portrayed as brutes.
You know, if you watch Zombieland, though, they're thanking God for rednecks.
Oh yeah,
He's got a Hummer full of guns.
And so, see, and I think it's really neat, and to me, it's really fresh. At least like that message that you guys are giving about the military, about veterans, about and the fact that they can have fun with it. You know, to me, that's really fresh.
Well, and I like it because it seems like, okay, so there's a lot of the times in these different movies that, even movies like 28 Days Later and things like that, where they're not so much zombies as they are, they've almost got like a disease, whereas like zombies are like, okay, there's no real coming back from a lot of this. But I like, it feels like this movie goes back a little bit more towards the traditional roots of the zombie stuff.
Exactly, with the plane, it explains in the trailer the plane.
Well, like with a lot of movies, it isn't just about the zombies, it's more about like the group. So it's almost like the zombies can be like a secondary part of the story when we're really just telling the story of this group of individuals and how they interact and get along, and that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
Definitely. I saw some connections, like from all the films that I've seen. I saw like a Dr. Logan in there. I don't know if that's exactly the character that's going to be like a scientist, like a mad scientist, Dr. Logan type thing in there. Like the plane crashing and everything, like that's been told many times, I guess.
Well,
but
I like that in the movie, or in the trailer that I've seen, they're actually making fun of a lot of like the zombie stereotypes, like the guy standing in front of the window.
Yeah.
If this was a zombie movie, they'd be coming to get you.
Right.
3 seconds later, there he goes. It looks like a lot of fun.
I love the satire that's in this. I really do, and I think it's fresh. To me, I think it's fresh.
I mean, my favorite zombie movies ever are Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead. I love Shaun of the Dead, both of which our resident zombie expert is going to sit down and watch soon.
Shaun of the Dead.
There is a different look on how, you know, everything is resolved. You see the product placement and stuff, but there's something that is very enjoyable. Is Lead Slinger's whiskey. It started off with a night of drinking, and it ends, you know, with a drink. So how that plays a factor, you know, you have to see the movie to find out. But, you know, don't think that some of the stuff you see in the movie isn't real. Like, you can buy Lead Slinger's whiskey, and that's another veteran company.
That's awesome.
You know, everything that you see in this, you guys got to realize a lot of this is from veteran-owned companies. Counter-Strike Coffee, Article 15 Clothing, Ranger Up Apparel, Lead Slinger's Whiskey. Well, I can go on, but it's really cool. And even one of the fighters in there, Ted Kennedy, you know, a veteran. Marcus Luttrell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I saw
He's in
that.
You know.
there's a Lone Survivor reference in there.
There is. Wait. No, he's very excited about that.
Yeah.
But
That is hilarious.
You know, if you don't come in this with an open mind, an open heart, and a sense of humor, then you might as well turn around. Because everyone in here is kind of making fun of their own, you know, not ailment, but just situation. Mary Dag with her missing arms. She's got, you know, she ties knives to Marcus Luttrell and, you know, his whole thing. Like I said, you'll have to see the movie, but it's crazy. But that's how it is.
So is there an official release date for the film?
Okay, so, you know, like I said, this Friday is the premiere showing in LA. Here in Houston, you can see it June 15th.
June 15th, all right.
15th. I'm hosting a premiere in Tomball at the Silverado, but the only way you can get tickets beforehand to ensure that you get in there is to go to tugg.com, Tugg.com, and you look up Range 15, and you can search your city by state and then get the tickets. And they're going fast.
All right. Well, I know a lot of people are definitely looking forward to checking this out. I am absolutely looking forward to checking this out. We both are. Sorry, Noe.
He's forgetting the zombie expert here.
Right.
I was very wrapped up in the moment there.
The zombie. It was one class.
Get your PhD, Noe, and then I will not forget you, okay? But Brandon, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for coming and talking with us today.
Appreciate
Range
it.
15. Go over to tugg.com, Tugg.com. Grab your tickets before they're all sold out.
Watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer. You are going to want to see this movie, made by veterans, starring veterans. It is a great film. It's a great contribution to the zombie community. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I had a blast. I appreciate you guys bringing me out here. After this is done, I've got my own videos that I'll post on my Facebook page. It's behind the scenes. I can't do it now, but you'll see old Ron Jeremy giving the old
Oh, my God.
mustache blow to the old harmonica.
Oh, we're all looking forward to that.
That's right. Yeah, I greatly appreciate it. It's been awesome, guys.
All right, thank you so much. Houston Film Fanatics. You'll get our full review of the film and everything at our blog page. Check it out at kprcradio.com.
It's Marcus Luttrell! Don't worry about a thing!
Looks like we're the lone survivors now.